Good evening. This is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you in the evening of Wednesday. And as I promised, I would do these five in a row from the Christ Consciousness Self-Mastery deck by Amanda Ellis. I had picked 5 cards, and this is card 4. And today is Miracles. I hope you can see that. And if you get the chance to look at this self-mastery deck, I would say look at it. They're just beautiful pictures. So I thought to myself, miracles, what does that mean to me? And I think so here it's about manifest and believe. And it made me think that to believe in ourselves, we start manifesting what we think. So I'm sure you've all heard of, people say you are what you think. And certainly on my journey, I can relate to that. And certainly this past couple of years where I literally believed that I was moving forward. I wasn't sure what my path was, and I trusted. And that was big for me, to actually trust a process that I didn't know. And I talked about that a little bit yesterday, where after my divorce I didn't know what was going to happen tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, and it was that same sort of philosophy that I used. But I thought miracles, and I guess there's so many things that we can say are miracles. For me, it was for many years I could not get pregnant. I couldn't have children, and it was back in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s. There wasn't all the infertility. We didn't know that much about infertility treatment. So I adopted, and after we adopted, it was just over a year of adopting, I was pregnant and had a son. So I have 2 sons, both are miracles. That's really what I wanted to say. So if I hadn't have adopted my son, I wouldn't have got pregnant, and I wouldn't have had my second son, the second miracle. So for me, they were my miracle children, especially I was in my mid-30s by the time they came along. So they were certainly the 2 that jumped out for me. And I just wondered if, when people say miracles, if something jumps out for you. So that's something to think about. And oftentimes we say, oh, we've never had a miracle happen. And I could go on and say, I guess I'm at that stage in my life where I can reflect back and say, oh, that was a time when, yes, that was a miracle, or that was a lesson. So I just wanted to say that at the very beginning, before I thought that before I'd even read what this said. But I do think it brings us to, and the intention of this is to, even though God is talked about, we can replace that with our higher power, whatever we believe. But I do think, so I do want to read just a couple of paragraphs from this, because I think it makes it clear, especially the beginning. It says, miracles are possible in any moment if you believe. Picking this card asks you to have confidence that solutions and answers can arrive, even if they feel elusive right now. You may be experiencing a degree of lack of shortage. It may be financial, around resources, success, romance, or any other area which feels like an uphill battle. However, do not give up. You can win. Believe in the impossible and ask for help. So there's that other thing, right? That asking for help. And I know that a lot of us that do this work, we're very good at giving. I'm very good at giving advice and telling people, ask for help, do this, do that. I'm not very good at taking my own advice. So I think that is really something to think about, is asking for help. And who is that help? I talked about that in previous video, about who's that help for you. And it might not be family members. It might not be, friends. Sometimes we reach out to the other side, to dragons, to loved ones, to angels, archangels. They're all there to help. And then the reminder is the feeding of the 5,000 is one of Jesus's most well-known miracles, turning 5 loaves and 2 fishes into enough for everyone, with 12 baskets left over full to the brim. You are reminded that this is a bountiful world with enough for everyone. The secret is to trust and share abundance with each other. Another big one about abundance and trust. They're big steps, and it's certainly taken me probably my lifetime to feel that I can step on a path that I can trust, and it's about trusting myself, trusting my higher self, and that's been a long time coming. I certainly used Kuan Yin for myself, and that led me to Kali Ma, who I might actually next do some of her work, which is, especially as I'm doing sisterhood tomorrow, I think that would be a good next step to maybe talk a little bit about Kali Ma. For me, she was somebody that I was like, ooh, I don't want to go there, because some of her images are very in your face. But that's what I needed. But also Kuan Yin has a much lighter energy, but they helped me trust. They helped me, and I've brought in a lot of divine feminine energy, which was very lacking for me, and trusting that divine feminine. So if that's something you're struggling with, I would encourage you to look at Kuan Yin and Kali Ma. So the last part I wanted to read about miracles, about manifesting and believing, is miracles by their very nature asked us to let God in, which means edging out our lower shadow energy, ego and will. Today, be open to what seems impossible, but also notice the small miracles happening in every moment of every day. Indeed, you yourself notice, let me get the right line here. So today, be open to what seems impossible, but also notice the small miracles happening in every moment of the day. Indeed, you yourself are a miracle. You matter and illuminate the world. To God, who loves you, every step you take is a wonder, and every feat you accomplish is celebrated. Welcome to the miracle of life itself today. So I thought that was a good paragraph to end on, that life itself is the miracle. Each day is a gift. I know I've got something here that talks about that, with some saying about, I'll find it. But I hope that this card, which again, I find just the images absolutely beautiful. This is the loaves. I will be back tomorrow, and the last card in this series is Sisterhood. So I hope you have a good evening.